Throughout the years, we've been introduced to a lot of characters in the Mushroom Kingdom. Our hero Mario, his trusty companion Yoshi, the helpless Princess Peach, the evil nemesis Bowser, and of course, who could forget the lovable coward Luigi? But why is he even a coward in the first place? A lot of people say that it was something that just happened in Luigi's mansion to make him more interesting and give him a personality. However, that just isn't the case. Today, we're gonna look at everything that's happened in Luigi's life to turn him into the cowardly man he is today. Let's start from the beginning. And no, we're not talking about Mario Bros. 1. I'm talking about Yoshi's Island, when Mario and Luigi were just babies. Right from the opening cutscene, the brothers are being carried by the stork to their new parents. During this transaction, the brothers are attacked by Kamek, and Luigi is the only one that gets taken away, and the creature vanishes into the darkness from whence it came. Already, Luigi has no sense of security anymore. Everything in his short life has been taken away from him in the blink of an eye. The stork, who's a symbol of protection, given the duty of delivering babies to their new family safely, was attacked, and he failed his duties. And of course, the separation of a younger brother from his older brother. Now, it is possible to say the same for Mario, being separated and losing his sense of security. However, Mario instantly befriends the Yoshis inhabiting the island he fell on when Kamek attacked, and they quickly befriend him and take on the duty of protecting and returning the baby. Luigi, however, probably isn't getting the most welcoming of receptions when captured. But in the end, everything works out and they'll grow up being complete equals. Right? Fast forward years later when the two are now reunited and go on adventures to save the princess. At the end of Mario 1, no matter who beats the final level, they will get a personal congratulations and a kiss from Princess Peach. This includes Luigi, so there isn't any signs of one brother being superior over the other. Yet. Mario 64, however, changes that. Princess Peach invites Mario over for a cake that she baked. Mario. She couldn't even bother to invite Luigi over. Now, unless baked you a cake is some sexual innuendo that I'm just not aware of, she could have at least invited him over for all the times he's risked his life to save her just as much as Mario has. And if there's one thing that will easily hurt a man and completely shatter his confidence, it's that dreaded friend zone. Ugh. But let's get back to that separation thing. Back on the NES and Super NES, we had a game called Mario is Missing. Right from the opening cutscene, Mario is taken and it's up to Luigi to save him. Now, I'm not too familiar with the Mario Brothers lore, but I'm going to assume for the most part Mario and Luigi grew up and relied solely on each other. I'm sure their parents were around and cared for them, but since Mario eventually becomes this epic hero who goes on crazy adventures, I'm going to assume growing up, he was like the Tommy Pickles of the Mushroom Kingdom. And Luigi definitely had to admire that. Now, I am not a brain doctor, but something tells me that even though the last time Mario and Luigi were separated, they were babies, there is still something that is in Luigi's subconscious that triggers some kind of separation anxiety when Mario is missing. After all, Mario would usually be the one taking the lead on any adventure the two would have. Now, even though this was Luigi's first true adventure on his own, there wasn't any real threats out there. He just had to travel to San Francisco and answer some menial trivia or something, I don't know. Nothing really testing his competence as a hero until Luigi's Mansion. That's right, again, Mario is kidnapped and it's up to Luigi to rescue him. Right from the get-go, all of Luigi's cowardly traits are easily shown. His timid walk cycle, the frightened look on his face, that scared call for Mario. All of his personality traits are exploited here. A lot of people give Luigi flack for being scared throughout the entire game. But let's take a step back and analyze his situation. Luigi is traveling through a haunted house littered with ghosts. Now, just because the game stylizes the art in a way so it's not completely horrifying, that doesn't mean the situation itself isn't creepy. A great example would be PT. This is pretty much the same setting as Luigi's Mansion, a nice looking home that has some undead inhabitants taking up residence. Now, I'm willing to bet you 8 of my fingers that if you were in this home, you would be shaking in your boots as well. More importantly, we have the fact that Mario is trapped in a ghost house. Now, Mario and Luigi have encountered ghosts multiple of times in their adventures. However, here, Luigi actually encounters more humanoid ghosts, ones that manifest to look like their actual human selves, and whose souls still haven't been put to rest. Combine that with the fact that we find some of Mario's random accessories spread throughout the house, Luigi has more than enough reason to be fearful and full of paranoia about the possible death of his brother. After that dilemma was over with, Mario and Luigi would continue being the dynamic duo of the Mushroom Kingdom and going on adventures. But after everything Luigi has been through, it's obvious things were going to be different for him. This would show in the Mario and Luigi series on the handheld consoles, as well as some of the Paper Mario titles. After everything that's happened to Mario, Luigi just wants to play it safe because he fears for the safety of him and his brother. Now, even though Luigi has plenty of cowardly traits, that doesn't mean that he's a full-fledged member of Weenie Hut Jr. Luigi can and will be heroic when the situation calls for it, and that's what makes him so much more relatable. Yes, as humans, we get scared sometimes more than we probably should be. We're afraid of the unknown, and more often than not, we let our paranoia do our thinking for us. Luigi is proof that no matter how scared you are, you can still rise to the occasion and become a hero. And that act doesn't go unnoticed. Luigi still gets invited to go to parties, go go-kart racing, and even gets to duke it out with some other epic heroes. Luigi's just been through a lot. Constant separation and loneliness throughout his entire life, living in the shadows of his older brother, dealing with the fact that his brother could quite possibly be dead on multiple occasions, and of course, who could forget that evil friend zone? Ugh. Now, I honestly think Mario is just as fearful and scared as Luigi is. I mean, he hasn't had the easiest of lives either. However, since Mario is the older sibling, he needs to be brave and fearless on the outside to prove a point. If you yourself are an older sibling, then you know what I'm talking about. Also, here's one cute piece of trivia I did some research on and found pretty interesting. At the end of Super Mario Bros. 2, it turns out the entire game was just a dream that Mario was having. However, in the dream, characters were given abilities that they didn't normally have, kind of like when you have superpowers in your dreams. Now let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a dream where your vision was incredibly blurry, or you were trying to run away from something but you moved incredibly slow, no matter how hard you tried to get away? It's believed that these constant themes are symbols that are relevant to a current situation going on in your life. In Mario's dream, Luigi can jump very high, and the symbolism I found for jumping high is pretty cool. And I quote, "As a symbol, jumping is similar to striding in the sense that it may represent your feelings about making progress in life." I'm going to safely assume that Mario is dreaming about Luigi one day hopefully breaking free from constantly living in Mario's shadow all the time, and even possibly becoming a great hero. And there you have it! The too long didn't watch version? Luigi's been separated way too much, he lives in fear of the possible dangers that could happen to his brother, and he's stuck in that freaking friend zone. Luigi can be a little bitch sometimes, but he's one that we love and he'll always be a hero to us no matter what.